Hi everyone, here's the Book Chemist once again. A few weeks ago I reviewed a classic of hard-boiled detective fiction, which is Dashiell Hammett's Red Harvest. Today I'm reviewing Hammett's other masterpiece, which is The Maltese Falcon. A book which was a tough reading experience, as tough as its main character, and definitely not the book I was expecting in so many ways. First, because this is a very different reading experience from Red Harvest. Red Harvest, in its way, is almost a minimalist detective novel. Its plot, if you think about it, while incredibly complex and intricate, if you take a step back from the book, it's a rather straightforward, rather minimal plot. There's a city, and this city is corrupt, and its main character is, well, it doesn't even have a name. He's the Continental Op. His features, it's not like he is not well characterized, because that's not true, but his characterization emerges mostly from his behavior. In this sense, Hammett has been compared to Hemingway. That's definitely true. In Hammett too, you have to infer most of what's going on, most of what the plot and the characters are about and the themes of the book are about, through what's actually happening, through dialogue, through character interaction. It's not like The Maltese Falcon is in any way a maximalist book, or if that is not true with this one, but here you get a much more straightforward characterization. You know, you get some description, you get some context. I felt at the end of the day that I knew Sam Spade, which is Maltese Falcon's main character, much more than I knew the Continental Op at the end of Red Harvest. The plot in The Maltese Falcon is also much more exotic and unexpected. There are some elements of lore, there are some elements of legend in this book, some exciting characters from across the globe. It never really slides toward the Dan Brown-esque, but still, it's kind of an exciting plot in its own right. All of these considered, this makes it sound like The Maltese Falcon is a more rewarding an easier experience than Red Harvest. I'm not necessarily sure that is the case, because The Maltese Falcon, at the same time, I found it a much more unforgiving reading experience. By all means, it might just have been that I wasn't reading really this book in the best of circumstances. I read part of it on a flight, I read part of it in line at a post office in Italy, and Italian post offices are serious business. I read part of it on the Milano subway, but still, very often in the book it happened to me that maybe I'd been distracted for a page or two and I lost myself completely. You do not get at all those summarizing passages you get all the time in mystery fiction and detective fiction, where the main character, the detective, through a dialogue with somebody else, basically gives you a summary of what's going on so far in the plot, so that if you'd lost yourself, you can, you know, find your way throughout the rest of the book. You get those all the time, for instance, in Agatha Christie. You did get them in Red Harvest. There's nothing of the sort here. If you get lost here, it becomes kind of difficult to find your way back into the plot. And more broadly speaking, this is as difficult to read as a book as its main character is difficult to read. Characters in this novel are all the time wondering about this Sam Spade guy. Is he a crook? Is he a, you know, a straight-up detective? Does he have a sense of justice? Does he only look out for himself? Those are difficult questions, and it's not necessarily like they're all clearly answered at the end of the narrative. And throughout the book itself keeps this same type of mystery, and it is as tough and as difficult to read in both a literal and metaphorical sense as the main character. And it doesn't really give a shit. For a very clear example of this is the fact that for a book called The Maltese Falcon, you spend a good half of the book not really knowing what a Maltese Falcon even fucking is, and when you know what, you know, when a falcon starts getting mentioned in the novel, for a few chapters more, the main character really doesn't care what that is, even though it's apparently something people are willing to kill for, and apparently something that causes some major plot twists here and there. But yeah, who cares? I'm hard-boiled, I'm cool, I don't have time for this Falcon bullshit. And don't get me wrong, I loved it. I absolutely loved the interaction between the book's theme and its outlook and its narrative style, and the way the book This all hard-boiled attitude toward life is mirrored in every single aspect of this book. Red Harvest did the same, but Red Harvest did it mainly through its reflections on corruption and the inevitable corruption of American cities and society in general. Here, every single feature of the book, the way characters interact, dialogue, the characterization of this main character, everything conveys this hard-boiled attitude, this pessimistic, tough attitude and stance toward life. If you are a close reader, if you are the type of reader when he or she reads mystery novel, actually tries to solve the case, this is absolutely a treasure chest for you, because every single dialogue you'll have a hard time trying to understand who's trying to bullshit whom, whether a character is, you know, giving you a straight narrative or whether they're lying. You have to decode every single dialogue in this book, and that's amazing. If, like me, you just like to go along with the narrative and you're not that much into puzzle cracking and that type of stuff, this is still an absolutely thrilling narrative experience. It's a great novel, but keep in mind that it's not nearly as easy as at least I thought it would be. It's really a difficult novel. The parallel with Hemingway is not out of place at all. And if you can dedicate it the amount of attention it deserves, you'll have an awesome time with the Maltese Falcon. I don't know why I keep hitting this lamp in recent reviews. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Let me know about this novel in the comments. Let me know if you're a Hammett fan, which one you prefer, because I've heard from people with strong opinions. Some people definitely prefer Red Harvest and the Continental Op. Some people definitely prefer Sam Spade. I would probably go with the Maltese Falcon if I had to choose. Let me know in the comments. Thank you again for watching, guys. I'll see you in our next review or video. Bye, guys.